Welcome, comic book family, and welcome to KJ's Porch Puppy Comics, where if you can't run with the big dogs, stay on the porch. It's nice on the porch, you all. I thank the Lord for you all tuning back in. It's been a little bit, probably going to be a little bit in between here and there. Still haven't been able to get out. Yet thank the Lord for my buddy, my brother, RB. He brought me a stack of books down, gave them to me, and then brought several long boxes down. And we done a little bit of trading. And I told him I didn't have a whole lot to trade since I had sold off the majority of my stuff. But we were still able to work out some stuff and picked up some stuff. So I'm just going to show them. Again, asking you to like, share, and subscribe. Ring that notification bell. For this is episode 106, and I'll be showing you some books. I know I told you it's been a while that the next video I was going to do was going to be kind of Judge Dredd heavy. But I'm thinking since I've got quite a few books, but since I've done quite a lot of trading with RB, a lot of the books that I do have, they don't have bags and boards. So there's a few that I'll show, and then I'll just wait, hopefully, until I can get bags and boards. They present better a lot of times, as you know, in bags and boards. But I just thank the Lord that even if they wasn't in bags and boards, they still presented well. So again, I thank the Lord for my 87 subscribers. Just picked up another one. Young brother said he binge watched the channel, and he said he liked the scriptures and he likes the comic books, and that's what I thank the Lord for. That gets me more excited than showing the comic books, and knowing that there's family out there, my brother and my sisters, that like the scriptures. Because I'm telling you, as I've said so many times before, you got to be ready. You got to make sure that you're ready to meet the Lord. That's the only thing that I'm trying to tell you. You know, if you don't know the Lord in the parting of your sins, if you haven't asked the Lord to forgive you, and then you turn around and do a 180 and start living for him, this is the time and the opportunity. If you feel him drawing you, pulling you, that's your time. So yet I thank the Lord for you tuning in. And first book we're going to be eyeballing is Superman for All Seasons. This is a Jeff Loeb 10 sale. You know, at one time or another, I didn't really too much care for Tim Sale's art, especially with the Batman. For some odd reason, a lot of you might like it. Your mileage may vary. But I like it. I like it in the Superman book. I've had these back years ago, and I picked these up again off of RB. Because this is going to be a little bit of things. It's going to be a little bit of mix, because I have been able to pick up a few things off of eBay. So I'll let you know when I'm switching to eBay. But for right now, sit back, enjoy, get your popcorn. And we're going to start with this book. Now, RB had the second issue and the fourth issue. And so I went on and picked them up. But I like to get the whole set eventually. And the reason that you're looking at that little piece of paper that was stuck up at the top, it was like a marker so I could show you. I've got two of them in this issue number 2 that I want to show you. Let me pull that one out. Check this out, comic book fam. That's Tim Sale's version of Superman. Kind of put you in the mind of that Mark, what's his name? Mark Fleschner, back from the 40s, the Superman serials. Then it seemed like to me, even with the art style, it almost has a little bit of a Frank Miller tint to it to me. But that's just my look-see on it. Here he is catching a rocket. I thought that was cool. The colors and everything on it is real nice, real nice. And of course they got Lex Luthor in here. They got Lex Luthor. Here's Lex Luthor and Superman, while Lois Lane is beating up on the terrorists after Superman done took the gun away from him. I mean, it's a great book. It's a great read if you've never read it. Superman for all seasons. Great book. Also have, and look at the condition on these. Like I said, for not having no bags and boards, part of this big trade, or not big trade, but big comic book collection that RB had bought. And I thought it was pretty cool. This is issue number 4. Still a great book. I got a little marker there. I want to show you something else in it. I'm going to show you the Luthor has his own security force in this run. And they're all sporting the battle suits. I thought that was cool. It's beautiful art, y'all. It's really just beautiful. Story's good. This one here is dealing with the flood in Kansas, in Smallville. And it's almost kind of catchy where it looks like he might have lost his dad here, but he didn't. Now he's got his mom, and I think it's Lana Lang, in the truck that he's lifting up out of the flood waters. And here he's looking for his dad. Again, square bound. He had a lot of Superman. I've got almost a complete run of John Byrne's Superman that I'll show eventually, probably when I get them bagged and boarded. But I'm going to show these. This is Action Comics 385. And when I saw this one, I just dug his cover. It is really, really a sharp cover. I've never seen this one where he's breaking the kryptonite bands. He says, I'm 100,000 years old and mightier than ever. Even kryptonite chains can't hold me anymore. Anyone I've ever known or loved is long dead. It says, when will I die? And then the scientist says, never. Our tests show that you can't die, Superman. You know, so I mean, it's, I haven't looked through it. As you can tell, the books, it's been loved on. You know, it's got a little stain down here at the bottom. It's got stresses, got little chips here and there. It's got a rip right here, creases up in there. The book still, you know, I mean, I'm happy to have it in the collection, but just because I've never seen it. This one here I've had 2 or 3 times, but every time I see it, I like to pick it up if it's in good shape. It's a Superman 423, the last issue. And it's a nice book. Kurt Swan stuff that you know in there. It says Alan Moore, Kurt Swan, George Perez. Yeah, it's a nice book. It's one of those, I think, if you're a Superman fan, you ought to at least have that in your collection. Anytime I see a Superman that has or Action Comics that's done by Gil Kane, then I like to go ahead and pick it up. And this was another one he had in there. Action Comics 552. And it's got Cave Carson, Congorilla, Suicide Squad, Animal Man, Rip Hunter, Immortal Man, Sea Devils, and Dolphin. Yeah, it's a great book. I mean, it's a good storyline. I forgot how many issues it actually ran, but it was a really good storyline. And anytime I like Gil Kane drawing Superman, you know, it's still a great book. This was in there too. I picked it up because I like the superpowers. Sometimes the superpowers kind of throw me on their numbering system. You got to look at the year, and then you got to look at what's going on and everything. Some of the 4-part, some of the 6-part. And this is issue 2 of a 6-part miniseries. And this came out in 1985. He also had this one in here, which I'm a big fan of, Machine Man. This is Machine Man number 9. That's a great book. I like Machine Man as a character anyway, because it's just a cool character. Let me move these out of the way. Left Superman, didn't I? Let me grab him. Okay, these next books that I'm going to show you is a book come out by the DC Comics Impact imprint. And I collected all of them that came out. I collected The Shield, The Fly, Jaguar, The Crusaders, all of them Archie properties. And they didn't run too many issues. Some went more than others. But this was just one that I really liked. But it wasn't really a popular book. But the character I really liked in the person of Jaguar. Let me get it stand up there. Now, Jaguar, if I'm not mistaken, when I first known anything about Jaguar back in the Archie comics, it was a guy. And he had, he could fly. He had, get the strength from the animals and different things. And this chick here, I'm telling you, she's, I don't remember her actually talking in the book. When she goes full beasto, she just goes, when she changes, she goes. But it's a beautiful book. I enjoyed the covers on them. I mean, it may not be dated, might be dated considering today's standards. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. But he had all these and I went on and picked them up. Issue number 8. Beautiful cover. Issue number 9. Where she's fighting Shield. These books are in great shape. Issue number 10. And last but not least, issue number 11, which is the last issue. And I thought that was cool. Well, somebody had said something, had asked something on one of the channels, one of the creators I follow, and was asking somebody, hey, have you checked out the new Jaguar by Archie Comics? Well, I went on eBay and just kind of took a little looky-look just to see what I could find. And when I saw the cover, I was thoroughly surprised. I liked the cover. I liked the way it was set up. Now, the interior art on this particular book is what you would expect. It's kind of real cartoony. It doesn't really do anything for the cover. The cover is what drew me to the book, which is what usually does on most books. But you can see for yourself. But I just thought it was cool. And there she is. Totally different incarnation from the one we just got through looking at. So if I'm not mistaken, I think this makes a total of maybe 3 different Jaguars, with one being a male and then the other 2 being female. But if this is just a one-shot, it's an Archie one-shot. I guess they're trying to try the waters and see if it's going to turn out pretty good. She had an interesting backstory. This one did, and I thought it was pretty cool. Like I said, I don't buy really a whole lot of new books unless they're where I can afford them. And if something like that, I guess, like I said, if it's something decent, I might give it a whirl. I don't know if I go ahead and be trying to run straight long into it. Let me hit you up with a little bit of Nexus. Nexus number 1 from Capital Comics. I had Nexus number 1 from Pacific Comics. It was black and white, magazine size. Never could really figure out what the hero's power scale was. Just something different. And these covers here I like. They're really nice. They set up real good. And I think here he's fighting the floating heads. But anyway, it's a decent book. And as you can tell, it's got a black cover. There's no spine ticks. The corners are sharp on it. And as usual, it does have a wraparound cover. That's his girlfriend right there. She helping him battle the floating heads. I still can't remember what that story was. Tell you what, let me hit you with a little, like I told you, sit back, grab your popcorn, grab your little soda pop, sweet tea, lemonade. This might be a tad bit of a long one today. Haven't been with you all in a couple of weeks. Let me see how we gonna do this. Yeah, that's how we're gonna do this. These next books coming up don't have bags and boards. So we're going to use Machine Man again. First book, Eagle Comics, number 4, Judge Dredd. I like Judge Dredd. I told you that, I think, last time I was showing you some Judge Dredds. The Eagles are the first wave. These are the British exports over here. They come over here back in the 80s. I remember seeing these when I used to go to the comic shop and just kind of, like, what? But if you want the original stories outside of the 2000 AD, these Eagle Comics are the one to get. So that's Eagle Comics, Judge Dredd number 4, Judge Dredd number 5. Then it jumps to Judge Dredd number 6. And these covers are sharp. Like I said, for books that didn't have bags and boards on them, RB got a real good deal on these. Number 8. Number 18. And some of these stories, y'all, I'm trying to tell you, it's something else. Number 19. Number 20, Apocalypse War. Number 21, outside of the first issue, this one and it's one more is the one I used to see all the time. I used to see this one because I thought to myself, look at the size of that tank. And, but that's issue 21, and these were only $1 a piece. Issue 22. This was another one I used to see too with the Soviet Judge. I thought that was pretty cool. Issue 23. It seemed like they came out right on time because that's September and this is October. Issue 24. And that's the majority of the Eagle Comics Judge Dredds that I have. If I'm gonna probably fill in the blanks, maybe right on up to the 25th issue, and I may just kind of just stop at that point. Like I said, I'm trying to manage my collection a little bit better this rip. I'm just trying to do things a little different. You know, I don't want to get too much and get too much out there too soon. But that is Judge Dredd. Hope you guys and girls are still with me. We got one more. This is Dredd and Barrett, Necropolis, the Judge Death Invasion. And this cover is banging. I like that cover. This is put out by Fleetwood Quality. That's the company that took over Judge Dredd. But anytime I see Judge Dredd and he's holding on to his gun and he's riding on his lawgiver, you know, and it's sharp and it looks like it's a Bisley cover, Simon Bisley cover. I can always tell his art, you know, so detailed, kind of, you know, it's in your face type stuff, and I like it in some cases, depending on what the character is. This next book, you all, is called Fantasy Against Hunger, put out by Tiger Comics, and it includes art by Art Adams, Brent Anderson, Jim Aparo, Gene Colan, Greg Hildebrand, Jose Garcia Lopez, Bob McLeod, Jerry Ordway, John Romita Sr., Bill Sienkiewicz, and many more. And it says all the profits from this book will be given to help fight hunger in the United States and Africa. This book came out and everybody was putting it out. Marvel, I think it put out one as well, so did DC. And this was just a bunch of independent artists and writers and different things. And some of these characters they just made specifically for this book. And as you can tell, the book's in real good shape. Like I said, I'm still trying to find stuff that's different, things that catch my eye. And that's the type of stuff I like. All right, you all. We're in scripture reading, and we're in Psalms. It's either book 61 or division 61, or chapter, however you want to call it. But it's Psalm 61, and it reads, "Hear my cry, O God. Attend unto my prayer. From the end of the earth will I cry unto thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For thou hast been a shelter for me and a strong tower from my enemy. I will abide in the tabernacle forever. I will trust in the covert of thy wings." Means in the hiding place, in his shelter, in his protection, Selah. That's S-E-L-A-H, which Selah, sometimes if you're reading Psalms or in other books of the Bible, you may see that word pop up several times. And it means forever, or it could also mean a pause in between the texts. But the forever is what I like more than anything else, you know, because we will abide under the shadow of his wings, and he is our protector. And he said, and I like that part, your comic book family, where it says, look, it says, "From the end of the earth will I cry unto thee, when my heart is overwhelmed." We see so many things that overwhelm our heart and our minds, but he said, "Lead me to the rock that is higher than I." And that rock is Jesus Christ. He is the one. He is the one that's going to help us to make it out of here. But we got to do it his way. We can't half-step, you all. Can't be no half-stepping. Can't be no shamming. You got to do it God's way. And I thank the Lord. I thank the Lord. These next books that you're about to see, let me go and get these out of the way first. Then we'll hit you with some eBay stuff. Now, some of you might have seen these. I was going through and I was trying to put stuff together. But this is a Richie Rich, Casper and Wendy, issue number 1, giant 52-pager. It's National League. It has to do with the baseball. It's got all the pennants and the teams on here. And I thought it was pretty cool. Never seen it, but it looks so pretty. I had to go ahead and pick it up. And I thought it was cool. And these two books here might be for some of the new subscribers that didn't get to see it, or if you went back and decided to go ahead like my other brother did here this week and started binge watching a bunch of the old channels and the old stuff, then you might have seen it. But these pretty well stay in the collection unless somebody wants to offer a good trade for it. That one and this one here, Welcome to Roger Rabbit Toontown, number 1. This is a beautiful book. Beautiful book. And I show that one quite often. And I had the other one. I think I had Roger Rabbit number 1, but Skimmy kind of traded me out of that one. I think that went in with the trade when I got the Man Thing. Let me see. Okay, here we go. These next 3 books are eBay buys. Okay, get ready, comic book family, because here we go. First book up. The generic comic book type superhero action adventure. It says, this comic contains one neurotic superhero type with a variety of personal problems, one bad guy bent on world domination through arcane means, assorted villainous henchmen. Then says the hero's nefarious employer, pathetic family, and and well-endowed girlfriend, a plot containing a conflict, a subplot, a resolution, a plot twist, and as many fights as it takes to fill up the rest of these pages. Yeah. I remember having this book in my collection back in the 80s, early 80s, and I said I saw somebody had one on their channel. Somebody had one on eBay that was dirt cheap, and if you can find it in any good shape, as you can see, the book looks good. It's sharp. The cover, since it's an all-white book, is kind of off-white, But I mean, back when they was doing the generic stuff, when it was real popular, that's where you would go. You would get your canned goods. They would just say peaches in a black and white can, or cheese, you know, in a black and white package, or so on and so forth. But I thought this was kind of funny, and it's odd nowadays. It's really odd. As we've been talking about going through different 80s cartoon characters and finding the comic books form and different things. Skimmy was talking to me about Darkwing Duck. I've always liked Darkwing Duck. Wasn't much on any of the other Disney. For you Disney folks out there, forgive me, but that's just the way I am. If it didn't have a lot of action in it, you know, I mean, you got to draw the line in some cases when you got a lot of anamorphic animals. I mean, you know, Captain Curd was about the only one I really delve in outside of Darkwing Duck. But, you know, it was kind of crazy, kind of kooky, kind of, you know, pulp type thing. But I thought it was pretty cool. But I picked up the first issue of the Disney Afternoon featuring Darkwing Duck, Bonkers, Goof Troop, and Tailspin. And I picked that up. The book presents well. It looks nice. It's a little foxing all the way around. The book looks like, you know, because it's got a white cover. But other than that, I mean, it don't have no spine ticks. The book looks good. It holds up good. Staples tight. And I thought it was pretty cool. It's a sharp picture of Darkwing Duck as well. This one is a Disney Comics limited series. It's a 4-issue limited series. And this is Darkwing Duck. Skimmy was trying to tell me which one came first. The only thing that's wrong with this book, comic book family, is this little piece right here. That's the only thing that's wrong with that book. If you didn't see it, let me bring it up close, show it to you. That little piece right there. That is the only thing that is wrong with this book. Other than that, the book is supremely sharp. I like it a whole lot. And I was just glad to pick it up. You know, I thought it was just, man, you know, it's wonderful. Let me pull this one out and go ahead and get him out of the way. He should have been in with the Judge Dreads. Let me move these. He should have been in with the Judge Dreads. But this particular book, I'm going to just hold it because I'm going to do something. This particular book, I'm going to show you, let's wait. It is Judge Dredd number 17. It's put out by Quality Comics. It's a reprint, really, is what it is. Of course, you got Judge Dredd. You know, he's on his lawgiver and everything. But why this book, you may ask? Why is KJ holding on to this book? Well, let me show you, comic book family. I wrote on the back of the backing board, issue 17. And why did I keep this book? Comic book family, this is why I kept this book. Oh, let me get it. Ba-boom. It's a double cover. That is the reason why I kept it. Anytime we ran across a double cover, man, we thought we done struck some kind of gold, because it's something that we just never seen, which got us to looking at the terminology like the older folks used to say back in the day. You don't never want a car or a piece of equipment that was put together on a Friday or a Monday, because they're not going to do it right. Let me adjust this a little bit so you can see it a little more, maybe. There we go. Yeah. But it's got a double cover. That's Judge Dredd 17 by Quality Comics. And it's a beautiful book, nice shape. Second cover looks better than the first. I like it. These next 4 or 5 books I'm going to show you, comic book fam, is books I've been looking for. And